The last thing you think of when King's Cross is mentioned is gardens. But here's Clarence with an unexpected find.
I'm in Sydney's King's Cross. Everyone knows it's got a certain reputation, but just around the corner is something you're not expecting. This is one of the Cross's busiest intersections, and right next to it, Barry Minhinnick has been tending his quirky garden for 10 years. He's moving on soon, so I want to take a look before he goes. Hey, g'day.
Oh, g'day, bro. Oh, kia ora. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, kia ora.
Yeah, no mai haere mai.
Kia ora, jingua.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm Clarence.
Just Barry.
Barry, how are you, brother?
Yeah. Good.
So, this is the garden we've heard so much about.
Oh, well, you know, people gossip.
The garden is about 60 metres by 10 metres across 2 levels, and it sits on an old roadway, so the random mix of plants are mostly in containers, except for the Celsus tree, which dominates this garden. How did it all start for you here?
Well, coming from a farming area, we're having a garden when I was young, and so it's very addictive, and so you just sort of take it with you wherever you go.
Barry is the caretaker of the house next door to the garden. The land was owned by the RTA, but when they gave it up, Barry took the opportunity to create some relief from the urban environment.
People used to come and park here, needles thrown here and bottles and illegal parking. And so I thought I'd put a few obstacles up with a bit of art form. Try to harmonise everything in together. Because if you look at the one across the road, the fence, that's very uniformity.
Yes.
And where here I couldn't afford to have a uniformity fence or garden, because it cost money, but I just had to just somehow marry it all. Yeah. And it takes a while, but it's well worth it.
There's a calfa really sets off in the middle of the garden here.
Oh, it's a beautiful tree. I call it a Fijian fire. You know, I love the beautiful colours, the texture. It matches the actual tiles that I've got on the tea house at the back, 1920 tiles. I managed to salvage, and it seems to match the colour like an art.
The garden reflects Barry's creative drive. Some of the material is being given to him, while other things have been found.
Like, for example, I'm so fortunate to get this beautiful picket fence that used to belong to the Bourbon and Beef. It was around the box plants, and they were dumping it.
That's a huge bit of rope you've got up there, Barry.
Yes, it's actually 200 metres long, which a friend gave to me. And it reminds me of we're all interconnected in Australia and right into our suburban area as a community. These are the old meters, which used to be an old stove company in Sydney from the 18-something. Remind me of suburbia. And this one's here, it's got the Sydney meters. And an old lady gave me a hand to push it up the hill.
An interesting design you've got going on here.
Yes, it's a beautiful Aboriginal design going from waterhole to waterhole. I was very fortunate to buy the pebbles from a hardware store after having a bit of luck on the old Gigi's.
It's not a bad
But the Gigi's brought me so much beauty there, you know?
You've got a bit of wrought iron work going on here.
Oh, that's beautiful 1920s wrought iron, which is part of the stove. So these are all the spare parts. So I was able to use it as a design, bit of feng shui look, you know?
And then you've got a bit of hedge work happening?
Yeah, that's a box hedge, which was outside the Hampton Court Hotel many years ago, and the owner gave it to me, so I brought it back to life.
So it's slowly getting there, but looks like the agave's seen better days,
Oh, well, I'll bring that back to life too. I found that last week, actually, and I brought it back on my scooter.
Ah.
It was absolutely... I love the colours, green and gold, you know, the Australian colours.
Nice seat.
Yeah, beautiful seat. Oh, well, it's part of the King's Cross ethos. Without this, King's Cross will be lost.
Well, I guess you know where you are, at least.
It's our identity, our tribal identity.
Barry likes to share the garden with anyone who wants to enjoy it. He has a strong sense of community. What would you like people to take away from the garden when they come and visit, Barry?
Possibly a sense of who they are, a sense of belonging, maybe a sense of a little bit of spirit there, a sacred space that we all have within ourselves. You can take a little bit of that molecule, I think it'll look after them for the rest of their life.
Now, I reckon Barry's got a great garden here. He's created something beautiful out of almost nothing. Now, although his tenancy is coming to an end, he's really philosophical about the future.
Yes, it's time to move on. Sometimes you have to carry on searching in my journey, and I don't know where I'm going to go. I'll leave it up to the winds of time.